Three Grots in a Vox is intended for a mature audience. This means there will be crude language and discussions of adult themes, especially if we're talking about Tactical Marines or Gabriel Seth. Viewer discretion is not only advised but encouraged. All opinions are our own and often given for humorous purposes. Any advice is given largely for entertainment purposes and would probably be ignored. But if you do learn something useful, count it as a win.
Alright, greetings, No, I was going to say Vots. Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, we'd call them Vots, although they're Grots technically, I suppose.
Greetings,
if we're the
Grots.
three Grots, what are they?
If we are the three Grots, what are they? Yes, indeed. I'm here with one other Grot tonight, and it's Mark, obviously. And we are talking about boarding patrol lists. Last week, if you didn't see last week's episode, we talked about all the rules for building your boarding patrols and went over that in depth. So this is a bit of a shorter episode this week. But people asked in the comments, quite a few people, what is a good boarding patrol list? So are we here to answer that?
We have no fucking clue, but this is a good enough go. We'll give it a try, and they're probably shit, but maybe it's some inspiration for you, who knows? I
was going to say, this is the best we can do considering neither of us yet have our book, even though they were pre-ordered.
Because it's been sold out, and it's been sold out for weeks, and GW still haven't sold any. And they've put an article up promoting book 2, and they've said, we know there isn't any stock of the current one, but we're still trying to get you to buy into it yet, so yeah.
Cool. So that's where we are. So my list was done with handy photographs from Tony that you shared in Discord.
Very helpful. Very helpful indeed.
So he's here in spirit.
Ooh, is that alcohol? Or are you? No,
I'm still drinking water. I've got so much more movement in my arm now. I've got so much more movement, but I still can't quite do everything. So it's still water.
Well, my tipple that I discovered pre-Christmas has finally come back into stock at the place that I found it at, which is this thing here, a little honey cider.
Oh, sounds nice, Singer.
Which is really, really sweet and nice, and I enjoy it greatly. So I bought another 24 cans of this.
Nice. How many cans do you drink a week? How many cans of cider did you go through a week?
Maybe one or two. Not many.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got no idea how long they're going to last or whether I'm going to be able to reorder any more at this rate.
I see. I binge. I'm more of a I either drink nothing or I drink all the things. There's almost no one.
Come my holiday in March, when I go off for my guild meet with my WoW mates for a couple of weeks, then I'm going to get fucked.
Are you still playing Dragonflight?
I am actually, yeah.
So
I'm still enjoying it. I've finished all the rep grinds for the 4 rep factions they put in it for launch, so I'm feeling like I can ease off a bit now. I don't need to complete all the world quests every week that they pop up. But yeah, it's still a very nicely done expansion, thankfully.
I was looking, actually, speaking of video games, I was looking at Diablo 4 because that comes out in June. And I have no idea if it's going to be good, but I have really enjoyed the other Diablos, and I really enjoyed Diablo 2, and they said this one was going to be more gnarly, more gothic-y like Diablo 2. Mm-hmm. So I found out just this week that the PlayStation, they're putting in Discord support, so my wife will be able to play on the PlayStation. I'll be able to play on the PC, and we'll be able to play together because it's cross-play or something. So it's like, cool.
Hopefully, yeah.
Fingers crossed. As long as the servers don't blow up, which they normally do with new Blizzard games.
So the latest WoW patch put a new feature in that went live yesterday as we're filming this, and the servers blew up. So.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see.
Nothing's perfect, but they're much better than they were, thankfully. And yeah, there's a lot of hope around Diablo.
So is there a lot on your hobby table this week?
My hobby table this week, there are bases with pennies and magnets being put underneath them for a great many things like this, so that they weight down the base and they'll magnetize the bottom of the cases that I carry.
Nice.
For a pair of armigers, some Age of Sigmar Dragon Riders. All the models are still on their sprues at the moment. And some Eldar Shining Spears.
Nice.
So I'm getting ready to put all those together. I did build a model for the Eldar boarding action list that I'll be showing off in a couple of lists time.
Cool. Okay.
So, yeah. Yourself?
Gilliman.
We're not doing Pile of Glory, really, are we?
No, but so many people were like, John, why don't you just run Ultramarines? I'm like, no, I want to run Blood Angels, but I want to give my whole army reroll 1s, my whole army +2 to charge, and my whole army reroll morale tests. And if you do that for Blood Angels, oh my god, you shore up a lot of our weaknesses. And
he's a bit of a beast himself. He's no slouch.
His gun is
in the middle.
His gun is really good, and his 4 damage fist that hits at strength 12 is also really good.
Yeah.
So I have been searching for a list. I've got a GT almost a month today, 4th of March. So maybe
and
this goes
his
out
buffs
next
will
week.
work on armatures as well if you want to bung them in.
Imperium.
No reason why not.
It's so strong. So I think I have last week, because this video will come out on Thursday or tomorrow when we're filming this. I have a video coming out about the Stormraven. I was like looking at my old Stormraven and I was like, can I make this work? Sort of inspiration from your Stormraven that you talked about a few weeks ago. And I was like, yeah, I think a Stormraven could work. So I was thinking maybe I'll just run the Stormraven at the tournament and it'll be a fun tournament. Might not be the most competitive list I've ever run, but it would be fun to bring in that sort of Alpha Strike Stormraven. But now I'm thinking Gilliman.
He'll buff the Stormravens. They come down within 12 inches of him. He'll buff all of their shooting as well.
They do have a lot of shooting as well, actually.
They don't need to come down anywhere close.
Yeah. So, So I'll have some sort of janky list for this next event, but it's the season of jank. Everybody's trying to find out wacky lists. And I think...
There you go. So you got a Blood Angel list with Gilliman, Armigers, Stormravens, and Balpreds. There you go.
That was my list. Actually, I might actually take 2 Ball Predators to a GT. Can you believe that? It is the season of wacky lists, but I think you either have to jump on with like 2 hands and go all in on the wackiness, or you're going to get frustrated this season.
The amount of enthusiasm and fun you're showing off the back of this is just brilliant, and says it all, really.
So, I'm hoping to get Iron Hands next week, and let's see how Gilliman does against them. So, anyway, should we start? We've blabbered on for a few minutes.
We have, right. So we got 4 boarding action lists to look over. 3 of mine and 1 of John's. And the first one that we've got was the one I quickly wrote together for what I'd do for Blood Angels. This is not meant to be optimal in any way, shape, or form. This is meant to be just having fun with it more than anything else. So you got Meth, because he's a beat stick and he's got powers that will reach out and kill people in boarding actions, and he's fairly tough, which is cool. 2 tactical squads, maximised for flamers, and a Thunderhammer on the Sergeant, because why not? And they're cheap and they're obsec, which means the sticky objective still works in boarding patrol. 3 Blade Guard vets, because why not? For 105 points. It'd be just as easy to put some aggressors in there, to be honest, but the Blade Guards feel like you want something resilient and tasty in there. And then Intercessors. 5 of them cheap 90 points again.
I was going to say,
with all the free upgrades.
So what I really like about your list is you've got a lot of Overwatch potential with Flamers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Blade Guard for 105 points are really interesting because there'll be a durable squad for 100 points. And
You've got 5 units in there as well. So nice split of being able to spread out.
Yeah, hold objectives and move out. That's maybe the weakness in my list. And then I like... I think Mortals are probably going to be pretty strong. So having Meth in there to do some Mortal will be interesting. How will... Dumb question. And I guess you won't know either. How will Wings of
we both don't yet have the rule book.
I was going to say, how will Wings of Sanguinius work with Meth?
I think you can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I remember hearing that GW have clamped down on all the extra movement related powers and abilities in the game to make you unable to use them in boarding patrol.
Okay, cool. I mean, there's still other good things you could get, like quickening. And,
absolutely. Smite and Blood Boil will do some damage quite happily across the table.
Blood Boil will actually probably be a lot better because Blood Boil typically sometimes gets lost into like tough, high toughness enemies. On these small corridors, you're not really going to see anything with toughness more than like 6 or 7, right?
Yeah. And he could move up to something, end his movement opening the door, which is normally a bit risky for people because you can't give him enhancement because he's a named character. Yeah. But he can do his psychic powers after the movement phase.
Yeah, so open the door, smite, Blood Boil. If it's a toughness 4 enemy, you could just kill him instantly.
Yeah.
And you've got a deny, which is nice. Or 2 denies, actually, which is nice. Cool. Okay, I like it.
That's a nice, easy little list. The second one comes from a bit of research that I've been doing into one of the videos we've got lined up for the coming weeks. And that is a Deathwatch list.
Awesome.
2 units in this list.
How are you going to hold
So
objectives?
I'm going to split one of them into combat squads.
Okay.
And hope. So the HQ, the Watchmaster, is a basic chapter master with like a spear and a bolter on it. And the enhancement he's got is Expert Breacher, so he can open doors and then move if he wants to, which is, I think, is one of the best enhancements that you've got a choice of giving. The kill team is curious. So the way the kill team works, I'll just briefly go over this rather than go into huge amounts of detail. I'm going to go into when we do the faction focus video on it. You have to take this particular kill team. You take 4 veterans, which is the firstborn kill team.
Mm-hmm.
You equip them however you want, and then you can take up to 5 other models, which could be veterans, they could be bikers, they could be vanguard vets, they could be terminators, and they're all part of that one troops unit.
Okay, interesting.
And they've got the combat squad rules, so you can split them into 5 firstborn and 5 terminators, or mix and match them however you want in there. So just to go over the loadout there, the Watch Sergeant has got a heavy Thunderhammer, which is a huge 2-handed Thunderhammer that Blood Angels can't take, that is damage for AP -3.
Yeah, that's cool.
The 4 Deathwatch veterans with Infernus Heavy Bolter. A Heavy Bolter is like a combi, Heavy Flamer and Heavy Bolter strapped together as one gun. Instead of like a combi Flamer or a combi Bolter, combi Heavy Flamer and Heavy Bolter. And it works exactly the same as a normal combi weapon does. They're disgusting. The Terminators...
expensive? Or are they free now?
They're not quite free.
Okay.
They're close, but they're not quite free. I mean, you see, those 10 models is 367 points.
Yeah, it's quite a lot, isn't it?
And the 5 Terminators, they've all got Thunderhammers and Storm Shields, but 3 of them have also got Cyclone Missile Launchers on top as well.
Well, that's neat.
And they're all troops.
I guess that's Deathwatch only?
Yeah, it is. I think Dark Angels can do it.
Can Dark Angels do it?
Possibly Space Wolves. But yeah.
Nice. And then the Teleport Homer would let, what, one squad? One combat squad?
Let one of the 2 combat squad units, provided it has a Terminator in it, teleport back to or next to a friendly other unit somewhere else on the board.
So the non-Terminator models would come with them, is that right?
I could do, you could combat squad them into 5 Terminators and 5 Firstborn, or any mix and match. So I could do 2 Infernus Heavy Bolters in each combat squad, and then spread a couple of Thunderhammer and Storm Shield Terminators in each combat squad, and then just put the Cyclones in wherever I wanted, and put the Thunderhammer in wherever I wanted.
Nice, okay.
So you get a bit of flexibility and resilience and Flamer-based Overwatch and some firepower, or a bit more melee punch.
Very interesting. Have you...
Which will result in 3 units, which isn't a lot, but they're troops and they're fucking tough.
I was going to say they're very killy as well, aren't they? Have you bought a Deathwatch upgrade sprue for your Blood Angels yet?
For Blood Angels?
Yeah.
No, but I have got Deathwatch upgrade screws coming out of my arse from when I bought them for the previous edition of Kill Team.
Okay, cool.
One of the shelves in there is full of Deathwatch models.
Nice.
I haven't been out of that shelf since I built it, but they might well be coming out now, and I'll have to actually take stock of what I've got and pay attention to it.
When I get my next squad of Blood Angels Terminators, I'm definitely making some with Deathwatch shoulder pads after watching that Warhammer Plus show.
Oh, it's cool. They're very classy. They're the special forces of Space Marines. It's got a lot of appeal to them.
Yeah.
I do
cool.
like it.
Okay.
Moving on then.
Deathwatch.
The third one I wrote was an Eldar list. It's the Elfway Craft World, so they get a 6-up invuln across the board. They get a 5-up Feel No Pain versus Mortals, and a couple of other things aren't massively relevant to the list and what they're doing at the moment. So you got 4 units in here. First up is an Autarch, who's kind of like the chapter master. He's he's a non-psyker leader, the tactician, and he comes with a Banshee mask, so that when he charges, you can't overwatch him.
Yeah. And you fight last as well, right?
Sorry?
The Banshee mask makes you fight last as well?
Yes, on the charge. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Fusion gun is a melter gun at range 12 that is strength 9 and always does the +3 damage. Doesn't have to be in half range for that.
Yeah.
Starglaive is like a power spear thing. And again, the expert breacher enhancement. So this Autarch could, in theory, start the turn next to a door, open it, run, charge you. You can't overwatch. You fight last. Stabby, stabby, stabby.
Cool.
Which is exactly what the Howling Banshees are supposed to be doing as well in the list.
Yeah.
And obviously they do exactly the same thing. The Exarch with the Mirror Swords is a power build because you've got doing double the number of attacks because of the Mirror Swords, and Piercing Strike increases all the damage that her swords do by +1.
Yeah, she gets like 10 attacks, is that right?
Yep. And the Banshees get to advance and charge as well. So the Exarch opens the door, moves through, and the Banshees just like storm across half the distance of the board. You can't overwatch them and slice you to death.
Advance and charge is going to be really powerful in boarding actions with no fly, isn't it?
Absolutely. I kind of consider them a must for Eldar and boarding patrol. I've got to be honest. Dire Avengers in there because they're dirt cheap. They put out a lot of firepower.
Yeah,
frankly. And the Wraith Guard are in there because they're the sort of like the tough brick unit. I wanted to give them upgrades with different types of guns or the shield and axe that they have to give them invulnerable save, but they get a 6-up invulnerable save for being an Elfway anyway. They're toughness 5, 3 wounds pop each, and I think they're 3-up armor. So they're no slouches. They're just there to soak up fire and do some damage with the Wraith Cannons, which are fairly pokey, but 1 shot each.
I was going to say the Wraith Cannons are like strength 12 -4 or something, right?
Yeah,
Auto
18
hits
inch
still?
range. Sorry?
Are they like flamers, auto hits?
No, there's 2 types. There is one that used to be a Flame Assault.
Yep.
It's now a blast weapon instead and has a range of 12.
Okay.
But it also costs more. It would have increased the points cost of the unit up to 250. I did want to do it, but I couldn't justify it.
Okay, and so what is the profile on a Wraith Cannon, roughly?
Let me just pull it up for you. You got the gist of it right, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because I remember fighting Kev with his big unit of Wraith Guard, and they were so scary. It was like they were like priority number 1 for me.
So Wraith Cannon, 18-inch range, Assault 1, Strength 10, -4, D3 +3 damage.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
each time you attack, an unmodified wound roll of 6 does a mortal wound as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they I mean they're deadly into Blood Angels because typically -4 you're not saving, or you're saving on 6s, I guess.
Absolutely. And the other gun, which costs an extra 10 points per gun, is 12-inch Assault D6, Strength 10, -4, 1 damage.
That's it. Yeah, and is that auto hits?
No, it's not auto hits, but it is blast.
Okay.
It used to be auto hits in the previous edition, but they stopped it from being auto hits because that was too broken.
Yeah, it was very scary because they could deep strike as well, can't they?
Yeah, you can put them in webways and deep strike them. Not in this, because it's a stratagem, which you can't use until the extra rules come out for Eldar, and then they might give them that as a stratagem in those, but I guess we'll see. Man,
this is going to be a tough list too, because the 2 fight lasts, and can the Autarch advance and charge as well, or just the Banshees?
No, that's an ability on the Banshees data sheet. The Autarch can't advance and charge.
Okay. But still, I think advance and charge is going to be king here, because you're just going to be so fast.
And Eldar are normally faster anyway. They got a higher movement rate.
I was going to say, what does Banshees 8 normally?
Banshees move 8 and advance 6. And if you've got one of their special fate dice or magic fate dice or whatever they are, you can auto advance them 6 if you have the right dice.
Yeah, and you can still get extra on your charge as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody hell. Okay.
Because it's only a 500-point battle. You're not rolling very many of the fate dice, but you're still rolling some, and some is better than none.
Yeah. Well, okay. I like it. This is the scariest list out of those 3, I think.
We'll see. Thank you. Right, and those are my 3 that I've scribbled down on the back of the fag packet. And the next one is yours. Tell us about it, John.
I couldn't decide between the 2 HQs that I want to run. Because I put there's two special abilities on this. It's either going to be the Gravis Captain. These are both 120 point Death Company captains. So the Gravis Captain with a power sword. So he is toughness 5, 7 wounds. He gets 8 power fist attacks because of those Gravis fighting styles. Well, they're not power fist attacks. They're bolt storm gauntlets, but it's the same profile as a power fist. And then he gets 2 power sword attacks. So you basically can do 16 plus 2, 18 damage. Toughness 5, 7 wounds.
Wow, okay.
Or we take a Death Company captain in Terminator armor who has a combi melta because it's free, and he has a Thunder Hammer, so he has 1 less wound, 1 less toughness, but he's doing 7 attacks with Thunder Hammer. And because he's a Terminator, he can teleport in for free, sort of, because he's a Terminator, so he could re-roll his wounds. So, from his close quarters killer, whereas the Gravis Captain is taking the personal teleporter, so both these characters can teleport in. I think I'm leaning more towards the Gravis Captain, because I typically like units with more survivability.
So he's got 5 attacks base. The fighting style gives you an extra +1 with the Power Fist. And then you earn +1 for the charge for being Space Marine.
And then +1 from Savage Echoes, and then +1 from Death Company.
And an extra +2 free attacks for the Power Sword.
Yes. So,
alright, yeah, I can see that being tasty.
Yes, and obviously with the personal teleporter, then you're just coming in and hoping for an 8-inch charge or a 9-inch charge with +1, you know? Mm-hmm. So both those captains look like super alpha strikey captains to me. I thought we take infiltrators because the Helix Gauntlet gives them survivability and they can sticky an objective, and also
and if you're planning on teleporting in, then other people are going to be planning on teleporting in as well.
Infiltrators, I think, because of all the walls, I assume the infiltrator bubble will go through walls. But I don't know. You know, the bubble of deep strike denial?
Yeah.
If it does go through walls, then I think infiltrators are going to be super, super strong, right? Because that 12-inch bubble is huge, going through all those twisty, windy corridors.
Tony said something about auras being restricted to line of sight now, but I have no idea. I guess I'll have to double check that when the rulebook arrives.
I did 3 Blade Guard veterans. I think I've put the points cost in there. I think I'm just supposed to have 3 for 105 points because I think I've actually gone. I think it was 120 plus 100 plus 105 and then plus 165. Yeah, I was at 490. So this is a typo there. It's supposed to be 105 on the Blade Guard veterans. It's just a 3-man squad. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think they're going to be great in these tight quarters. They get plenty of attacks, and they're going to be durable with those 3 wounds and the storm shields. And then I thought we'd take the sort of standard Terminator squad that is very durable at the moment. I ran 2 of these squads last night against the Nurgle Demons, and they're, you know, if you can get some way of getting rerolls on them, and you play Fury of the First, or I guess there will be no stratagems for something like Fury of the First.
Stratagems. That's right.
So I guess it'll just
until we find out what's in the new book that gives like a stratagem or 2 per army, apparently.
Yeah. So maybe the Terminators aren't as damage output, but you know, like you said, you can teleport Homer them around. You can they're also very durable, and I think they do enough damage. They'll kill most things in close quarters.
So you've got 3 squads largely built for resilience and 1 absolute death murder machine.
Pretty much, but I mean, Terminators and Blade Guard are not going to be chumps in combat.
Oh, no, absolutely. Completely agree.
So it's more of a slow-moving deep strike denial, and then maybe take your opportunity with the captain to come in and, like, if that captain gets into the enemy's backfield, it'll kill the whole squad, right? Mm-hmm. Or it'll leave 1 model alive, and then that model will have to run away from him, or he will kill the whole squad, I think. I also think it'd be quite fun to just try that Gravis Captain, because I've had him for like 3 years and he's never seen the tabletop.
Yeah. When they did the new stat line for the Gravis Captain to give the one with the fighting styles, I took my old Gravis Captain from 8th ed, I think it was, from the old box set. Mm-hmm. Chopped the sword off and put the chainsword on there instead, because I figured the chainsword and power fist is going to be the build I'm more likely to use. Oh yeah,
I guess you could take a chainsword if you want 1 additional attack, because that's the deal with the Gravis Captain. You can get 1 from your power fist, you can get 2 from your power sword, or you can get 3 from the chainsword, I think.
Yep, that's exactly right.
So, cool. That is my
very nice. Excellent.
How it does, nobody knows.
Yeah, we'll find out sooner or later when the rules actually turn up and we can get to play a game. Although I'm hoping to play a game in a couple of weeks locally, where some friends of mine have got all the terrain ready and commission painted and stuff. We're going to have an evening at the local gaming club and whack out a few games, see how well it goes.
Oh, that's cool. You're going to play way before me because I'm ordering my terrain at the end of the month. So, cool. You'll have to let me know. I'm excited to try it, though.
No worries. So that's all we've got for you this week, ladies and gentlemen.
We are coming back next week.
Yep.
And next week will be Deathwatch? Or are we doing something different?
Probably Deathwatch, yes. Unless something else comes along to jump in and say, do this instead. we are going to do Deathwatch with a massive shout out to Fars, who was very kind enough to provide us with a copy of the Codex to review and go through. And I've finally been bullied into getting my head into it and making sense of it, and now I am, and I'm really enjoying it. So, guess I should have done it sooner. My apologies. It's another thing that's been suggested is we potentially look at doing an Age of Sigmar. What the hell is Age of Sigmar video at some point?
Oh, cool. I was just about to go find my Age of Sigmar to see if I can kit bash myself some sort of Gilliman model.
Yeah.
So
we don't really know it massively well, but give it a go and see what happens from there.
People do like the what the fuck videos.
Yeah. If you want to make any suggestions on what you want to see, then absolutely please do so. If you find any value in what we do, any entertainment or informational value, then please consider looking at our Patreon and chucking us a few quid every month to keep us in coffee and new books and new plastic and things. Much appreciated. We'll put the material into these videos.
Yeah, and you can also now super thanks. So if you enjoyed tonight's video...
It's like a super chat, but a thanks, because it's not part of the chat, sort of, really.
Yeah, or you can super chat on the live preview of this. Either. Anyway, any support that you can give us is super appreciated. We'll keep doing what we're doing. We should have Tony back next week, I think.
Tony, we may or may not have Tony over the coming few weeks and months. If you know, you know. If you don't, then that's fine. Just don't go scrolling back through any previous archives for any things that somebody in this video might have said that they weren't supposed to say.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and hit a like if you've got 2 seconds.
Thanks very much for watching, everybody.
We'll be back soon.
Indeed.
Peace.